This one's hard, man. We've gotten emotional over stuff. Like I remember, like the first time that we saw him in the Wish Bus was probably the most emotional I got. And every time I watch this, and I've seen it quite a few times now, like I start tearing up.
Dude, like it's not only the song itself, like the part of the song in the bridge where the little girl sings the bridge, and then it goes into the final chorus, like something about it, and then the way that, dude, I can't even talk about it.
I know.
The way that she sang that last note, like it just says it feels different. You know what I mean? And then it goes into that final chorus, and like, but it's not just the song and the production of the song. It's how we went about how it ended up happening.
Yeah.
And like the conversations we had with the girls, and like they stood up for like exactly how they wanted this to be. And then the video. Yeah. Like just watching it and realizing that it wasn't a team that we paid to do this. It was the girls that made this video. Bang.
Are we doing this again?
What? I'm trying to add something new to the beginning of our things.
The GidKidDad Show.
Quack! It's a great day to play, everybody. Welcome on into the channel.
Yeah.
That wasn't a yeah, that was a yum.
Yum, yum, yum,
that was
yum, yum.
That was a yum.
Yum, 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 yum.
Ooh, that was good.
I know.
I actually like the yum, 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 yum.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
we'll make that the next song.
There we go.
Yeah.
It'll be for a brand.
It'll be called Yummy. Yum, yum.
I can do that.
Yum. Yummy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you want me to be yummy.
Oh, now we're giving away our secrets.
Damn.
the next group to debut has a song called
Yummy. With that.
They just take it. All right.
Like, that is hot. Anyway, whether it's your first time here, you're rejoining us, thank you for being here with us today. You're loved, appreciated, always welcome here in this channel, and you are.
Enough.
Today.
Okay, you didn't do it.
What?
Ooh boy.
Ooh boy.
Ooh boy.
Ooh boy. I don't always do it.
Yeah, but this is an ooh boy kind of day, dude. This is if something needs an ooh boy.
Hold on. Yum 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 yum. Ooh boy.
Today.
Did you like that I did the yum backwards?
Yeah, you didn't though.
I did.
It'd be meow, meow, meow.
That's true, but I didn't. Yeah.
But the notes were backwards.
Yeah,
so that was pretty good.
Yeah, on the spot.
On the spot.
Thanks for the rain.
Thanks for the rain.
Thanks for the rain. So we have the girls have launched a new song that you may or may not have seen at this point. Yeah. They've launched two. Why does this look like it's clipping on here?
I don't know.
It doesn't sound like it's clipping.
You look like you're clipping.
It's not. Can we turn it down just a little bit? I think it's your. Yeah, are you 3 or am I 3?
I don't know. I'm 3.
Just a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, that was mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was mine.
No, that was me.
Okay. That's a little bit better.
There we go. check. Okay.
Right. Yeah,
Anyway. So thanks for the rain. Out now. Filipino Baddies came out a couple weeks ago.
Dude, yeah.
So if you haven't checked that out, you should also check that out. This is it's doing a thing.
I am loving the reaction to Filipino Baddies.
Yeah.
Like, we knew.
Yeah.
But man.
Well, and the funny thing about it is there's been comments and stuff, but like the people that still come on are like, why are they doing this? You know, you shouldn't be talking like this. I was in, but now I'm not. It's just like, you're who they're talking to.
Yeah.
You're exactly like, they're the artists. They get to decide who they want to be,
right,
how they want to
right,
be,
right.
and also for the people that like talk about like, well, this doesn't sound it's like the people that are like, this doesn't sound Filipino. Why do you get to dictate? Filipinos wrote it. Why do you get to dictate?
What?
Right,
like, right.
It's just like
right.
It's so amazing. It's so amazing. But it is a really, really good song. And the follow up to that though, because as the series, I can't give away too much of the rest of the series, but the whole series is kind of a statement piece. And Filipino Baddies was chosen as the intro to the statement piece due to it caught your attention, so it got people talking.
Yeah.
But because the things that are coming that they're going to talk about, like if you don't like them because of that, you're definitely going to not like them probably about the things that are going to come out. And this one, I think, is probably Filipino Baddies. We all kind of talked about like the risk, right? And we were like, nah.
Yeah.
Like, let's let them be authentic. Let's let them be who they are.
Yeah.
But this song, I think, was one of the ones that there was definitely a lot of conversation about an issue that is very, very, not only a very important issue, but it's a very delicate issue. And there was a lot of back and forth. So today we're going to be doing a reaction to Thanks for the Rain. We're going to talk a little bit about the behind the scenes. But now this is a movie. It is a music film.
Yes.
So it is not like just a regular music video. It's about 7 minutes long, and it has some story to it. Now we have
cut that.
Okay, cut that. So it does have a lot to unpack, and I think that we're going to talk about that today. We're gonna unpack some of it and go into, like we've done in the past, we're going to go more in depth into the writing process and kind of the back and forth, because this was a very, very interesting one, and this one is one of the longer ones that it took to write.
Yeah.
And went through a lot of different iterations and a lot of different versions. And then when it came to the music video, we did the same thing where it went through a lot of iterations and a lot of versions.
Yeah.
So I hope that you guys have been enjoying the music so far. I hope that you continue to enjoy the music. This is the 6th song out so far, 5th single that they've put out since June, and there's more coming before the end of the year.
I'm so proud of that.
Yeah.
Like, man, that's cool.
Yeah. So we hope that you're
proud of all of us.
Let us know. We're proud of you because you're at home supporting us.
Yes.
Awesome.
Big time.
But we're gonna start. So this is Thanks for the Rain. Make sure that you check the girls out. All the links are in the descriptions below. Spotify, Apple, Amazon. It's everywhere.
Hey Rumi.
And also check them out on Hey Rumi, which is a fandom engagement app. I think we're almost at 400 Rumis now, like in our stuff. So basically, Hey Rumi is a fandom engagement app, very, very similar to like if you're used to Weverse, but it's more hands-on with the artists. So specifically with FINIX, because they're in there and kind of leading the charge on that. So if you want to go in and see like what's happening on like a daily basis, chat with them, you can do it in Hey Rumi. That is where it is. And because it is monitored and it's not like Twitter or the rest of the internet, it's not the Wild West. Like you can be there, you can feel safe, you can, be in a better space. So
what's the next badge? Because the first badge was 100, but we're at like almost 400, right?
I think it was 200, but we like blew past it. Like we went from like it was like we were like at 190 for a while, and then we blew past it, and then we've had some shows, and after the shows, it really started expanding. So,
well, if the badge still says 100, but there's a lot more people than that in there.
Yeah, there's a lot in there now. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Again, like, subscribe. Let's get into it. A lot to unpack here. Guess we'll read this for the people at home. Year after year, countless Filipino lives are disrupted and lost, not just by storms, but by the neglect, corruption, and broken promises that leave us exposed. Every rainy season, we brace, not only for rising waters, but for the same cycle of damage and recovery we've been told to accept. This is not fate, this is failure.
Napapatuloy ang monitoring ng RRM at RRMO sa daming pag-iwan ng pagsusulan.
Ang mga evacuee sa isang evacuation center ay kinailangang ilikas muli dahil maging ang inakala nilang ligtas na lugar ay napinsala ng
Maalala sa mga kababayan namin dyan sa Tacloban, lumikas na habang maalam pa.
Official na report, may primary school sa bayan ng Haniway ang apektado ng landslide. Brownout sa ngayon ang ilang lugar sa lungsod at ilang bayan.
Okay ka lang? Hintay mo sila, Mama. Mag-aayos lang kami ng gamit. Oo, makinig ka muna. Hindi, favorite mo to. Sino nga yun? FINIX?
The whole family's home for the day. We listen to the sound of the tin roof plays. My sister's happy mom and my brother is on his skates. Daddy got last Christmas Day. The wedding's coming in and day to day we happy planning. Then till let's lift the chords. I got the dog to think was good. Together in these walls. Together in these walls. I'm listening to radio static. Now it up. She's so dramatic. Queen Wedding goes something says that bitch was magic. Things on the way. We got faith now, got the whole damn family clapping. Rains all day, but love is happening. Got a whole lot of faith in stop. I really hope the storm don't stop. Nah, I love seeing all these faces. Bro smiles big with his brand new braces. Boss said it's gonna be another heartbreaker.
So I'm just gonna pause it really quick, only because of the subject matter of the song. I don't want to take a bunch of time to talk about it in between because we're gonna unpack a lot of this.
Right.
So I'm just gonna actually let this finish out. I chose a better stopping point. I'm gonna let this play out, and then we'll go back to parts of the song and kind of unpack it a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
If people aren't used to that,
They're not
they're
from
not.
us.
Breaking news out of the region this hour is one of the strongest tropical storm we've seen
Recorded history has hit the Philippines.
This is the worst typhoon in history.
Nadagdagan pa ang bilang ng mga
669 ang bilang ng mga namatay.
Sir, wala na yung nanay at tatay, tsaka yung kapatid na babae.
Chaos on the streets of Manila.
We're here for a change in system. We are tired of the system of what we call bureaucrat capitalism, where the government is being run like a business.
These protests are purely out of love for the country.
There is hope in the Philippines. No to corruption. God bless the Philippines.
We stand with every Filipino calling for transparency, responsibility, and public systems that serve people, not power. Let's build a Philippines where no family has to fear the rain again. All proceeds from this music video will be going to the Philippines Red Cross, by the way.
Dude.
This one's hard, man. We've gotten emotional over stuff. Like, I remember like the first time that we saw him in the Wish Bus was probably the most emotional I got. And every time I watch this, and I've seen it quite a few times now, like I start tearing up.
Dude, like it's not only the song itself. Like the part of the song in the bridge where the little girl sings the bridge, and then it goes into the final chorus. Like we write, like when we're writing a song and producing a song, it's like, oh, we'll put the bridge here and we'll sing the chorus and the bridge and blah, 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 it's fine. And like that's a thing that we do all the time. Yeah. But then we added the little girl to do it.
Yeah.
Something about it, and then the way that, dude, I can't even talk about it.
I know.
The way that she sang that last note, like it just says it feels different. You know what I mean? And then it goes into that final chorus, and like, but it's not just the song and the production of the song. It's how we went about how it ended up happening.
Yeah.
And like the conversations we had with the girls, and like the way that they stood up for like exactly how they wanted this to be, and then the video, like when just watching it and realizing that it wasn't a team that we paid to do this, it was the girls that made this video. Like of all the crap that we go through on a daily basis, the terrible, everything that gets just so bad, like when this stuff like this happens, then it's like we have it all. Like we might not have a lot, but we have it all. Yeah. Like we have some of the best people working with us that like, dude.
Yeah, and I think so. We'll kind of take this. We'll break it down of kind of how it started, and because the song on the surface already, I think for a lot of people, part of what makes you emotional too is like the story itself, which will break apart for the people that didn't understand it. But like there is this juxtaposition based on what you're hearing versus what you're seeing, and it's very, very intentional. And I think out of everything that we've done so far, hey, this is the first time I'm listening to these on these headphones.
Yeah,
in particular, the mix is great. Great job, Joel. But it is. I think that this is probably the one that I'm the most proud of from the entire team aspect.
Yeah.
Just because of, and we did, like Filipino Baddies was also the same, where it was like from start to finish, the girls had a hand in that. There was like one of the first ones. But this one, because this was also supposed to be the main song, even though it's entitled Filipino Baddies, that was to get people to pay attention. This song is the key song of the album, or ended up becoming the key song. It wasn't going to be.
Right.
But ended up because of the way that it happened. And I'm so proud of the team on this one and the fight that they put up. So let's first talk about the song itself and kind of the process. So the story The entire story arc, by the way, as you're going to start seeing, there is a narrative throughout the entire story.
Yeah.
Throughout all of the videos, there is a story. And when we first started writing the stuff that's coming, not going to say how much, the stuff that's coming, when we started writing the package, this song wasn't even necessarily in there.
Yeah.
There was other songs that were in there. And then the stuff started happening in the Philippines with the floods.
Yeah.
And I remember, we were talking to the girls, and because there was stuff that had gotten delayed, and then we started seeing all the news, because obviously we pay very close attention to it. We have a Philippines company. All of our employees are from the Philippines. We care very much about it. I live there half the damn year,
Yeah.
So there was a lot of conversation, and one of the things that we've always tried to do with the girls is allow them to be vocal about issues that they care about.
Yeah.
Most companies, especially in the Philippines, and we get why, but most companies will not allow their artists to get very, very vocal up front.
Right.
Because money comes in from some of the people that this may target.
Yeah.
And we don't have that problem. And so our whole thing with the girls is allow them to be vocal. And when the issues started to come up, I remember we started talking about, wanting to, we had a song that we were writing a few months before this had happened. And it was just a different song at the time. And it was supposed to be about the rainy season.
Yes.
That we had started writing. And that's something that had kind of been on the shelf, and we're just going back and forth with it. And then this issue came up, and we were talking to the girls, and we have this song that we actually started writing, and we started going back and forth on it. But we had realized really, really quickly, if you're going to talk about something like this, at first when we started doing this, the trillion peso march and stuff hadn't happened.
Right.
We didn't know about the corruption stuff. We just knew about the floods, and they wanted to talk about the issues that were happening. So this is before this even happened, because we know every single season in the Philippines, it's the same.
Yeah.
We spent 2 rainy seasons there in the Philippines, and every single season, it's the same. And then it's forgotten about the next year.
I remember asking, because there's a few things that when I got there, I asked you about, because it just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
And we walked to the store, Dr. John's,
Uncle John's,
and it was all flooded in the street. Where we were, it wasn't super flooded, but it was flooded in the street. And I was like, why is it? There's sewers. What's going on with that? And you were like, the sewers are all messed up. And I'm like,
and we were in a much better area.
Right. And I'm like, well, then why don't they road or root them? Let's get these sewer. And you're like, well, the money does the taxes and the money go to the people, but they don't use it on that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what do they use it on? You're like, I don't know, but they're not using it on what they're supposed to be using it on. And so what do they do with the floods? And and you were like, nothing. Everybody gets flooded, and then they come in. I deliver fish and then say, "Oh, good job, bye."
Yeah.
And
the funny thing is, the first time we had that conversation was 2 years ago.
Yeah, right.
Right? This is way before this had even happened.
And I was like, wait, hold on. So you're telling me there's taxes and stuff, and it goes to somewhere.
Yeah.
That somewhere doesn't go to what it's supposed to go to, and then they do a little bit of flood relief, and they hand out some food, and then they're like, all good? You're like, yeah. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Yeah. How is that a thing? I mean, we are, but that comes from living in the U.S. And in the U.S. with stuff like this, we are very privileged for that. If Milwaukee flooded a few weeks back, you remember that? It flooded pretty high, and then the city was like, okay, what's going on with these sewers? You know what I mean? Immediately.
Well, because it's funny, one of the biggest differences, and it's interesting having an outsider perspective coming in, especially from the U.S., right? And then coming in and then living in the Philippines for 2 years, where you got, that was a big culture shock moment, right?
Yeah.
And here, it's people are so afraid, especially local government officials, when those things happen. If you don't take care of it, you're not getting reelected in the next section.
Correct.
That is especially in local government. Local government's job is the streets, making sure your garbage is picked up, making sure the potholes are filled, right?
Right.
That's local things like flood relief and stuff like that, and making sure that the town is prepared. And in the Philippines, it's seems like a lot of times it's the opposite. Like people just they're not worried about not being there because the corruption's just different. We have corruption here, but it's different.
Right.
And so that started, go ahead.
It just like here, it's all like backroom deals where like money just flies around.
Yeah.
And then like some bad things happen. Some of the health, like our food is pretty nasty now. But like it's all like.
But most of the money still has to go, even though these backroom deals happen. And yes, money exchanges hands. Most of the money still has to go to the projects that it was for.
Correct.
Like, there is accountability on those things. And when they don't happen, people get sued or people go to jail.
Right.
Like it isn't one of those things where, as we're going to talk about with the trillion peso march, where there's just billions and billions of dollars US that are just gone.
Yeah, it's so blatant.
Missing.
The thing is like in the US, it might affect your health slowly, or it might affect this slowly. Whereas here, like every year, like it's blatant. Yeah. You're like, so we still didn't fix the sewers?
It's funny because even so when we first got
we're on an island.
Yeah.
Make the sewers go to the ocean. Like what?
When we first got there, I remember that was one of the things that we had to do research on was like where we were going to be, and we lived in Marikina, right next to the river that had a really really bad flood issue.
Yeah.
In the previous part, and one of the place that we found had a driveway, so like there was really no first floor.
Right.
There was like a driveway that went up to the second floor, and the whole thing was basically concrete, and it was made like that intentionally. So when it flooded, it didn't get into the first floor, and it was a bit of culture shock. I think the first year and dealing, having staff get to work or not be able to get to work, making sure that the staff was safe. Like that was a really big thing. We had a staff that like their house, almost up to the second story, had gotten filled.
And forgive. I mean, for anybody, Josh is the only one who heard this conversation, but I'll say it now. But like, forgive me because I was in the U.S., Josh was in the Philippines. We're separate on that for a while, and he was like, everyone called in today because it's raining, and I remember being like,
I'm a heart built to swallow. I got you thirsty. Click, click, boom with the make his jaw drop with the arsenal. We don't never stop. Click, boom with the when you're looking awestruck, baby, I'm a construct. 수소녹인 나비의 보각을 simulation system. Wait for the louder. Gonna rise above the sorrow, no looking back. I will rise again, shine brighter. From the ashes, a fighter. I'm a Filipino baddie with a bag in the mood. And GidKidDad let the dogs out, the most disposed of every single thing you wishing that you had. With poster white sitting there, hopeless with the ones that you're promoting. Don't fit your standard good, we never tried.
Yeah.
Tell him to get like in the US, if someone were to call in when it's raining, you'd be like, "Oh, you're super fired."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you were like, "No, you don't understand. Like they can't move.
Yeah.
Like everything's flooded. Like." And then all the computers are busted or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it had to be spelled out to me. Like just because it's so not okay that I couldn't fathom that it could be a thing.
And until you are there, until you witness it firsthand, it is one of those kind of like first world problem things where people look at it from the outside. And why it's important for us to talk about it on an international standpoint is to hopefully allow people to know that like, if you're sitting at home and you're like, oh, I could handle it, it's not that bad, you are so wrong.
Yeah.
Until you experience it. And all of these reasons are the reason that this became a focus of a song that we were writing, was because the girls had wanted to talk about it before this came up. And so we started working on this song and going back and forth. And it was good. The song was good. And then as things progressed and the flood started happening, we really were... One of the things that we wanted to make sure that we did is like anytime that you take a stand, anytime that you talk about an issue, it is very, very easy for people to attack you. Most people don't want to take a stand.
Right.
They want to attack you for not saying something about it or not taking a stand. But then if you take a stand, they want to attack you for doing it the wrong way.
Correct.
And so it was really important to us that like we did a lot of research behind this because we wanted to make sure that the message that came out wasn't seen as that the message didn't detract from what was trying to be said because there was like a tone deafness to it, right? And the only way you can do that is through a lot of research. And so we did a lot of research on the floods, on the local government, on kind of the projects that had been going on, and then we really talked about what was the message that we wanted to purvey in the song. And ultimately, in the story, what we had settled on was, we kind of talked to the girls about their individual stories growing up. We talked to a lot of our staff about the individual stories. And then we went out there and we talked to like friends and family out there about like from different generations of like what were their experiences growing up. And we took those experiences and that's kind of where we found Aria.
Yeah.
Because what was interesting as we started talking about it, so many memories, even of the floods, I remember people would, when they were telling the stories, even during bad times, there was so many stories that they would tell when they were kids, but they were like happy stories, but terrible things were happening.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of them where we would hear some of the older generation, if they grew up like more in kind of like the slums or the poor areas, where they're like, oh, when it flooded like that, we would just all go outside and we would play, and it was fun. Like we would go outside and we'd swim and we'd be playing in the water and stuff like that.
Which
is not good. But it was interesting, and it does go to say something, because for better or worse, the one characteristic that you do see with Filipinos and the people that live in the Philippines is that they have just an insane amount of patience, but also in grit.
Yeah.
To consistently have bad things happen, but figure out ways to find good things or the silver lining. I mean, you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Right? And so it was interesting as we started collecting the stories and trying to figure out how we wanted to tell the stories. But there were also a lot of tragic stories. There was a lot of loss.
Yeah.
There was a lot of grievances and grief. There was a lot of casualties. There was a lot of people having to move during due to these natural disasters or losing everything. And so we decided that when we started writing it, we started rewriting the song at that point in time, and the girls and us were going back and forth of like, okay, we wanted to write the song, and they wanted, their whole idea was that the song should be written through the eyes of a child.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Of talking about it the way that a child sees it, because somehow, some way, children, doesn't matter where you're from, children never, like, we grow up and we learn how to be pessimistic.
Yeah.
It is a learned behavior. Children are eternal optimists.
Yeah. I mean, they're just kind of pure souls.
Yes.
Just the way that they are.
Like, I look at my 5-year-old and it's just like, the thing that makes me upset as a parent is knowing that part of him is going to be gone someday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like that innocence gets stolen. And when you look at it, when we talk about it and you look at kids, it's like, if you tell it through their eyes, no matter what it is, and even the older adults that were looking back on it, they were still looking at it through that silver lining that they had as a kid.
Yeah.
And so
it sticks with you.
It does. It's nostalgia's weird in that way. Like, even really bad things
especially
happening.
when trauma hits you.
Yes.
Like they say, like, when something's traumatic, when you're whatever age you are, you kind of hold on to that age forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, it's really tough when you see stuff like this, and like, because you do still think of it that way, because that's the way it was, you know, like, and the way that kids think, like, if for instance, Gideon, like, your basement floods, right? Because that happens here sometimes.
Yeah.
Your basement floods, and you're like, oh no, the basement flooded. I have to get down there and get all the pump, and I gotta dry it all off. And then what would he be doing? He'd grab his boat. He'd be playing in the water. Right.
For sure.
Right.
Sure. I'd have to keep him out of it.
So and like, he doesn't know that you just lost your original Nintendo that was in the basement, or but because he doesn't care about that. Like, it's that feeling, and that's what this song is that feeling of the way the kid feels in that moment around all the carnage.
Right. And that's how it started, right? Like, that's where we started with it, was that we wanted to tell it through the eyes of a child, and we started going back and forth. But as things progressed, as we got the new floods and there were new casualties and new death tolls, it was one of those things where it was like, we also didn't just want it to be Like part of the issue that we kept coming back to was that the expectation was that people would forget. The expectation is that nothing would change and that people were just supposed to accept it. And I think that's a lot of what led to the trillion peso march that ended up happening, where people are finally getting to the point of like, we're not going to accept this anymore. It is not okay. We shouldn't have to deal with this every single year. Like, yes, tragedy is going to happen, but when the funds just all go missing,
right?
You know, it's different. And so then we started figuring out, okay, well, how do you take the song that we were writing and how do you tell both the story through a child's eyes, but also then tell it through a way that can get that message across?
Yeah.
And that's really where we started kind of writing a satire part into it, which was kind of a hit of like, this song is also kind of seen as, this is how you're supposed to feel, or how the government wants you to feel.
Right.
They want you to forget. They want you to just go away. But like you said, those traumas, regardless of how we look at them, they stick with kids. They're scars that stay with them forever. And so we knew that not only were we going to have to figure out a way to tell that in the song, which is why we changed the bridge to the little girl's voice.
Yes.
But that we were also going to, it was going to be a really tough job in the MV to tell that story. And that's where a lot of the glitches in the MV come in, of like the little girl at the end, you're seeing her and she puts her headphones on, but it kind of goes back and forth between like it's her trauma.
Yeah.
And trying to cope with, and how kids really cope with the trauma and families cope with the trauma. And so those were the starting pieces. And then as we kind of got to the writing of the song and decided, okay, you know, how much of the song is going to be in English, how much of the song is going to be in Tagalog, and that just more had to do with the girls really wanted this to be something that would catch more attention and get more eyes into it, because the more people that are paying attention, like it can't just be the Philippines. The more people that are paying attention, the more world groups and organizations, the more pressure, political pressure comes up. And so I remember they pitched us in this series of pitches, and if you guys saw if you guys saw the credits, the girls from start to finish of this music video wrote, directed, filmed the entire video and edited the video.
Yeah.
Right. And we went back and forth, obviously, with consultants and ourselves, and going back and forth to make sure that it hit the right note. But like the amount of talent that they have is so amazing. And so they pitch us though this story with this little girl, and we're going back and forth, and so Aria kind of came to life. We found somebody that we knew who little girl in here,
I mean,
such a good actress.
What?
Such a good actress. And she's the girl that played in here is also the voice on there. Like her voice is actually on this song.
The part where in the bridge where it stops for a second, and then that crazy vibrato.
Yes.
Oh, dude.
The whole bridge is her actually singing. And so we start writing this, and the whole thing, fun fact, the whole thing is shot and filmed in a small studio apartment.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Dude.
Besides the roof, besides the water scenes and the roof scenes, and then obviously the theme park. We went to the theme park for a day. But everything else is just really, really smart camera work.
Yeah, dude.
And setups. The whole thing. The bed was like a table that they just put stuff on. It was a folding table. Like, it was so ingenious how they did it. And so they pitch us this story, and we're like, wow. And so we go through, and then the decision was made as this was going on. We talked about, we didn't feel that, especially as everything was going on, we didn't feel like just making it a regular music video. The song's only like 3 minutes long, 3:20 or something like that.
Right.
That it was going to do the job of telling the story. And so we knew, though, that by making it more of a film, it wasn't going to get as many views. But it was more important for them and for us to make sure that they told the story that they wanted.
Right.
So we start going back and forth with that. And we're doing this, and then the stuff from the floods and the trillion peso march happens. And we're like, it was something unexpected, and so then we started figuring out ways to incorporate that into the current storyline, because they already wanted to tell this message, they already wanted to talk about it, and it was just one of those things where I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this, because stars are not aligning when things like this happen, when tragedy strikes,
right?
But it just felt like it was a moment where the FINIX members were already standing up for what they knew to be right before it was time for them to stand up for what they thought that was right.
Right.
And so while all this is going on, you know, obviously they supported the efforts on Twitter when it was there, but like their whole thing was like, we don't want to stop there. We need to now talk about this and we need to make this more known. And they wanted to do something that could also maybe serve as a way to raise some money for these efforts when we don't have a ton of money to give ourselves. But because the channel's a little bit more international and we have a lot of international audiences, it's a way for us to bring in money from the outside and send it to the Philippines. So that's why all of the proceeds for the video, the views and the stuff that it gets will go there. There's also direct donation links down in the description below of this video and of the video that you guys are going to be watching. Go and watch the actual video and like there. But they're for the Red Cross. So you can donate, and there's ways to donate from the Philippines. There's ways to donate from here. They have everything from PayPal to Gcash to Maya to credit cards. You can donate anyway. And we also did a lot of research to make sure that it was going to go to a place that, again, had accountability. And that the money would actually go to the efforts and the relief funds that we knew it would go to. So we start there. And it was a long back and forth on this one.
Yeah.
And we go ahead.
No, I just want to say, like, this song, it's my favorite song that we put out. Not because of the song itself. Like, the song itself is awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
But like so from the song's start to when we brought in the girls to then when they brought in what they wanted it to be about, and like there was these conversations that we had that like the girls advocated for their idea and themselves to us about like what was going on in the Philippines and like how this had to be done a certain way to make it feel a certain way, because you and I we're not from there.
Yep.
And do we see the way that everything there is wrong? Yes. Not everything, sorry.
Yeah.
But this do we see how it's wrong? Yes. But do we know exactly how it feels by being grown-ups there for once or twice?
Right.
No, we don't. So they advocated for certain things in the video and in the song that they had to have us figure it out with them, you know, and like the amount of communication and learning that this song did for our team, as well as being able to highlight the girls' talent as far as the video and everything go too. Like, this is the best thing that we've done collectively, and the amount of learning that went into it. Like, we came out a stronger team because of us trying to make sure that this message was the way it needed to be.
Yeah.
And like, it's just, so when I watch the video, I don't see the video for what it is exactly. I see it for what like it did with our team, and like how just unbelievable it is that we pulled it off.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think it goes to show, though, it really goes to show not only the girls are extremely talented, but they never want to be seen as performative, because these are things like from the day that all of these girls came to us, whether it was the first couple that came or the girls that came afterwards, and we start going through the concept was theirs.
Yeah.
They got to own it. The concept was, these are their stories. These are the things that they've dealt with. This is what they're tired of seeing happen to women in the Philippines specifically, or to underserved communities. Like, these were their stories, that then it was our job to help them take their stories and their narratives and get that out to an audience. Like, that's our job.
Yeah.
And until they start learning. And for things like this, it was one of those things where it was a moment where I think all the aspects of us worrying, where they were worrying about views, where they were worried about, like, it died.
Yeah.
It was a moment, because this wasn't meant for this collective at first. It was a moment where everything shifted. Like the entire songs that were coming out shifted. It changed. The story changed all around a specific issue because they were so adamant about, we feel strongly about this. We need to tell this story. If us as artists who are supposed to be idols, who are supposed to be, being role models, if we can't be out there and advocating for people and be willing to call things out that need to be called out, then we shouldn't call ourselves idols.
Right.
And I just respect that about them so much. And like that's kind of the thing with this whole video is there's so much emotion that went into it from our side and from their side, and it just comes out in this video of telling this just incredibly emotional story, but yet somehow the song still ended up feeling like the song's still supposed to be that hope.
Yeah.
And it's this weird juxtaposition because at the end you see it in the little girl, and man, we've seen kids there. We've seen adults there that have you can see it in their eyes of the trauma that they've been through, and that's what the song really represents. Is it's not only told through those eyes and calling out something that's real and calling for change, and then putting that into action, but then it still leaves you with this bit of hope. Because if you lose hope, then nothing can change.
Right.
The Trillion Peso March was about hope. It's about change, but it's about people. They're hopeful that there can still be change. That attitude that so many people we would see is oh, nothing's ever going to change. It's just going to be the same. That's just the Philippines. That's dying, and that comes from hope.
Yeah.
That comes from people saying, no, it can change. We just have to fight for it. And especially at a time now, and it's sad to see it, but it's been about a month since that happened, and it is already starting to die down. And you're still seeing stuff happen, but this is supposed to help keep that alive. This is the girl's way of saying, we want to keep this alive. We need to keep saying something about it, and something that can stand forever.
Yeah.
So just super proud of them. It was a very, very interesting, again, process. Every single time we do a project with them, it's crazy to see how much more involved they get and how much better they get.
Dude.
Again, these videos came back. Filipino Baddies came back, and we were like, wow, this is really good. And this one came back. And I was just when I saw the first rough cut of this, and I was just like, what?
Yeah, who helped with this?
Right. And I was like, nobody. They just did it.
And sorry, girls, I know you're gonna watch this. When I said who helped with this, it wasn't because I didn't think, but I didn't think, you know what I mean?
This is a very, very different level.
Yes.
Because they haven't done, it's not that we don't have, it's just, they haven't done this before. These projects were the first time. This was us saying, hey, you guys tell your story now. We did the first EP, and the first EP was about us helping you kind of tell a polished story. This was about them being able to have time before their official debut to try all the things that they want to try, to tell more of this very personal story rather than a commercial story. And they did not disappoint when these came back, and I was just like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
How are they this good?
I remember, God, this was just a couple days ago. I messaged you when I was on my honeymoon. I messaged you about it, and you were either busy or irritated at something else, or just it wasn't. I know it wasn't me or anything, but you were just something. And I was like, dude, what? Because it was the first time I saw it. And I was like, dude, how did who how did this happen? Who did, this is no way. And you're just like, yeah, it's good. And I was like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? And then, I was busy. Yeah, you were busy, but I was like, can you give me a second? Can you give me a second to do this with me? Cause I just,
you were supposed to be on your honeymoon too.
Dude.
You were supposed to be not talking to me. You were supposed to be just doing your thing, not looking at the chats.
I had a great honeymoon. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm married now. Mm-hmm. I have a responsibility to my family, and all of my responsibility was here in Wisconsin and out in the Philippines. I wasn't near any of my responsibility.
That's true.
So, or the things that are supposed to help me with my responsibility. So I was I just had to check in, make sure, hey, did anything blow up in a bad way. Like,
which could happen on a day-to-day basis.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah.
No, it just
real quick. I want to ask you. So I know what juxtaposition kind of means.
Yeah.
First, can you say it?
Juxtaposition.
Juxtaposition.
Yeah.
Okay. And that is where like on like the Scary Movie, they play that tiptoe through the window because it's like kind of like a happy song with like a creepy thing that makes it even creepier.
It's basically like it's something that's the exact opposite. Basically, like an oxymoron.
Right. Okay. Yes.
It's two very, very different meanings or two very, very different feelings. So like it is supposed to when we started going through and then when we started getting into the MV layers, because we've talked a lot about the song and how, but then it was, where does everything fit?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of footage and there's a lot of things and you're trying to tell the story, and like even in moments where like with the ringing in the ears and when the bridge happens and the bridge culminates in this happy moment, like all of those things have to be really thought out. And that was in those moments. Okay, so if you've made it this far and you didn't understand the movie, let's at least go through that. So Arya is the little girl.
Yes.
Arya is at the beginning. It's happening right before basically a flood happens, and you see that the headphones are like the representation of the sister, the Ate, that is like trying to like help her through this. And so she hands her the headphones before the storm. And she's kind of getting lost in this moment. But what you're seeing, it's after that moment when she closes her eyes and she opens them up, she has basically passed out. Like the water has overtaken the house, the water has overtaken the family. And all of this is happening in her head.
Yes.
And so at the beginning, she's like imagining this happy time where her family is still there. So the hands of the mom and the dad and the FINIX members are there because she's
dreaming.
Essentially
dreaming.
She's like kind of in coma dreaming. So, but essentially that we tend to find solace in music. So many people do.
Yeah.
You know, music is there for good times and music is there for bad times. And music got me through the hardest times of my life.
Yeah, that's why we're doing this.
And that's why she says like, oh, you really like this group. Like, is this so you can escape in it? And so in there, the members of FINIX are just that representation. And this could be anybody. It doesn't matter who you're listening to. SB19, Beanie, Eminem, when we were kids, it doesn't matter. Like everybody has that moment where they have an album that they escape to or a group that they escape to. And so this is all happening. And as she's coming to, you see then what's actually happened during this whole thing.
Right.
And so she's coming to and her whole family has perished in the floods. So she's told that the family has perished. And then as it goes on, they're in the bridge. The bridge is supposed to be like an homage to like the lost kids, the lost families and stuff like that. So that's why it's very, very morose. That's why they're looking at the camera. There's the glitches in there because it's like this alternate reality where we wish that our loved ones were still there. And then we get finally to the end and we see her in her bed. And the story that we're actually seeing is really her future self after this is all done, going back in her mind.
Yeah.
So she has like it's like this difference between what was happening during the floods and when she was kind of taken, and then she's revitalized or comes back to, and then at the end where like she's now trying to go back in time, and she like music is still her way of remembering the good times that she had with her family, of being able to go back in those moments. And then we talked about that, like with trauma and stuff, we find ways that can help us connect.
Yeah.
And so that's what's happening in this video. And so it's one of those things where, as we were trying to figure out how the music fits, the girls did such an amazing job too of finding ways where there are definitely moments where you feel very uneasy. There are definitely moments where it feels like, hey, the music, why is this music like this in this time? And that's exactly why it is. It's because it makes you feel uneasy, but like those are supposed to be the moments where you're supposed to like seek music out for your comfort. And so especially in that bridge area where it culminates after she wakes up, everything from there is like kind of telling the more real story of what happened. And you have this bridge, and then all of a sudden it culminates in this really big happy moment where she's again escaping back again, and she's using music as her escape. And it's just, man, like they put together, like, I don't think that you guys understand, like from somebody who's seen thousands of music videos and has seen
from
stories
people who've seen them.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like when we got the first cut, and I was just like, I couldn't even understand how they figured out how to put all of the pieces together the way that they did. There was very, very little that we had to talk about. And really that was just final polishing of like, okay, we need to fix some audio things here. Okay, this scene doesn't really give us, what are we going for? What were you going for here? We didn't really feel it. How do we feel that a little bit more? But man, it is. And every time I watch it, like I've seen this 12, 13 times now, on top of having to do the final edits of like the audio and stuff like that, and the final singing. And it just was like, it was so hard. It was so hard to do.
When you listen to the song on its own, and that final chorus comes in, it gives you the chills, like it does, but it doesn't give you that feeling. But when you add it in with the video, it's like the fact that it's so whatever that feeling is, added in with like what's going on, you're just like, oh God, it's like you get hit in the chest with like this sadness.
The way that I think about it now, because when we were doing this, this wasn't even a thought, but like the way that I think about it now that you're saying it, it's the way that I felt when we watched Time for the first time. Where it's like the song on the surface is just like this amazing song, and the whole video is great, and then you get to the end, and there's just like this moment.
I'll never watch that music video again.
Of like, holy, you just have that moment where it just leaves you. And I did the first time that I saw that was the feeling that I got left with, was just like the holy shit moment of like it nailed all the things that I think that they were aiming to do, but I think it did it better than what we had ever anticipated it being. And we just hope that people receive it the right way. Because it was a ton of work that went into this. And again, this was not anything that they did for views. In fact, it went against everything that we were doing in terms of like, it took away from a lot of other projects that we had already were planning on, and we shifted focus to be able to do this because it was so important to them, and also important to us to make sure that like these issues are very important. I've been an advocate my entire adult life, really, in different stuff here, and it's very important for us that things also change there, where that's where we are half of our lives now. So
when they first showed you the video, did you voice how great it was, or were you in like business mode and you're like, oh, very good, okay, blah, blah,
well,
blah.
I didn't see it in tangent with them.
Gotcha.
Right. So like they sent the first cut, and I remember it. Normally, like I'll get something and I wake up in the morning and now they're asleep. Right. Or whenever I get it, it's not always like we're not on the same schedules. And I remember getting it, and I remember watching it. And I first started watching it on my phone, and I got halfway through, and I remember stopping. Because like I wasn't anticipating it being the way that it was, especially for like a first raw cut, and I was like I gotta watch this like on a screen.
Right.
And I remember I set down my phone, I like went over to the computer, opened everything up, and I started watching it there. And they were doing, I don't remember if they were in an event, they were somewhere, so we didn't really get to have the feedback with them right away. But I had talked about it with one of the other people that we consult with, and who had also seen it, and we were just like, holy, and one of the huge shout out to all of our partners at the end, Kumu, Hey Rumi, and TSU, and TSU, who did our initial videos, has also been super, super kind, where they helped consult with us on this of like, how do we land the message? Because that's what they do. They do the videos. And it was really cool seeing their feedback of them also like appreciating like, these are people that do this for a living. And they were like, wow, and then there were some things that they helped us with, but, and then when we finally did have the first meeting, and we were just like, girls.
Yeah, I just wasn't on that meeting. That's why.
I was like, girls, like, what the?
Yeah.
Bleep? Like it is. It's just, it's so wild. It's so wild seeing how far they've come. And man, I'm very, very proud of them on this one. I'm proud of the entire team who just continue to just fight and do what they believe is right, regardless of the commercial aspect of it, regardless of whether they're going to be liked or what it's going to be. You know, they really do want to be the representation for girls that look like them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and people that look like them. And I'm very, very proud of what they're doing and what they're standing for as we go through this whole venture, because it means a lot.
Real fans know this. The rush, the heartbeat, the moment, the wait, the effort. All worth it. Get up close and personal with PPOP's fastest rising next-gen girl group, FINIX. Only on Hey Roomy. Not just watching, typing, or tapping. You are part of the journey. Be first. Be seen. Be Roomies. Join the FINIX room today. Only on Hey Roomy.
So I hope that you guys enjoy this. You know, ask your questions on this one. Like if you have follow-ups or things like that, ask your questions here. We will try to answer those either in a next video or probably like on a podcast. We can do it, but I know that this is gonna probably open up a lot of dialogue and a lot of conversations. We also are going to be doing a couple of rounds of interviews. Lucas and I will be on a couple rounds of interviews with some content creators. So keep an eye out for that. We'll also share those. So make sure if you're not liking and subscribe, we'll share those here so that you guys can check those out. But with all the things that are going on with the girls and people doing interviews with them, people have also are very interested in kind of the story of like how we got into this whole thing, like what brought us to the Philippines. And like
the answer, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how. I woke up one day and we were going to the Philippines.
Yeah. But and I'm sure that some of those questions will also come up on those as well. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Now I'm all
man.
yeah. You know, like you feel good, but at the same point in time, you're just like, man, like watching this video takes a lot.
God, I hope that we can actually like this. I hope this does what it's supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it does what it's supposed to do because it deserves to do what it's supposed to do. Like,
I mean, it would be super awesome to be able to write like a really big check out to.
That's what I'm saying.
To the Red Cross, you know,
right?
Like that would be, and obviously for the most part, for most people, they're going to donate directly. But you know, if the video does really, really well, not like you make a ton of money off of YouTube, but if it does really, really well, it'll be cool to be able to like write a really nice check out to the Red Cross.
Right.
So and support that. Like the crazy thing is like $5 to $10 grand. If the video gets like a couple million views, let's say, $5 to $10 grand goes so far.
Yes.
In the Philippines.
Yeah.
Like so far, especially in the provinces.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy how much you can do with that a day. So we hope that it does that. Again, at home, thank you all for your continued support. Please make sure that you keep streaming. You know, supporting them and keep your support coming because we greatly, greatly appreciate it. We couldn't be doing all of this without all of you.
Yeah.
And man, just so proud of these girls.
Yeah, me too.
More coming. There is more coming for you guys.
Yes.
So keep that in mind. We got to give them
a secret emoji code. Jeez.
This is just not
a clock. Sure.
A clock. Yeah. Let's do. I'm like, because like normally I would go
with something. Yeah.
Yeah, I would go with something, and I don't want to. Let's go with sun. I want to go with the sun.
There you go.
Yeah. Anyway. If nobody told you that they love you today, please don't forget that we love you. You are appreciated. You are always welcome here, and you are enough. And last but certainly not least,
it was a great day to play.
Thank you guys so much. We will see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.
The GidKidDad Show.